So here we are in the cockpit, and we should have the stats rolling along the screen now. The length of the SR71 is 32 meters, which is the equivalent to 3 London buses, double-decker. The wingspan is 17 meters. The height is 5.5 meters, which just over the height of a bungalow. The max takeoff weight is 52,250 kilograms, which is 5 fully laden London buses. Then the cruising speed is Mach 3.2 or 2,000 plus miles per hour, which is 3.5 times faster than the Boeing 747 cruising speed. The ceiling, which is the max height for this plane, is 26,000 meters, and the range is 2,000 miles or 3,200 kilometers, which is 1.5 times the distance from Paris to Kiev. So it's not that far, but considering that you're going 3.2 times the speed of sound, it's not too bad. The program cost, I couldn't find that anywhere on the internet. Obviously, the SR71 is quite a recent plane in the last 50-60 years, so there isn't the amount of data that I would have liked on it. But the unit cost I found is $34 million per plane. So here we are in the cockpit. I really like this cockpit because it's got you can see quite a lot of what you're doing in here, and it's got all of the measurements and indicators that you need, and you can also have quite a few instruments down there. The best ones are at the top, which is what I like. So over on the right here you can see that you've got the altimeter. Here you've got the pitch or the horizon, and here you've got the airspeed monitor, which I like because you can see exactly what you need to see straight away. And here's another pitch gauge. So let's have a go at flying this. Here's one of the views, and then so I'm going to take off via the cockpit. So I'm going to put brakes on and full throttle, and I'm going to let go of the brakes. Let's see what speed it takes off at. It's about 200 knots. Let's bring in the gear. Make sure we haven't got any flaps. So I'm using the Black Widow joystick and throttle. I really like it because it allows you to have a more realistic experience. If we look on the pitch meter, we're going quite accurately straight, about 20 degrees upwards. If you can see on the right, we're increasing altitude by a lot, and on the left the airspeed isn't dropping by too much to say that how much altitude we're gaining. So as you can see, the roll on this plane is very sensitive, so you can do some rolls easily. See, I didn't even that's probably about 50% pitch on my joystick. I've been having a little play around with this plane, and I really like it because you can do things like you can do aerial maneuvers such as loops, and obviously you can do the rolls, and the rolls go so quickly, which is something that I like. You can tell that the plane's got a lot of very big control surfaces, which is something that I like because it means that also as you're coming into land, you can slow down very quick. You can adjust your angle of attack and the direction you're coming in pretty quickly. So if you've got it wrong, which I tend to do quite a lot, then you can adjust it pretty quickly without too much difficulty. So we're gonna try a roll now. So we'll go straight into it, bring the joystick all the way back, and watch it as it just rolls right over nicely. And as you can see, we're just bringing it back round now. We've lost a lot of altitude, but we've also lost some airspeed, which is quite surprising. So as I pick the plane back up and bring it back up towards the sky, We are losing a slight bit of airspeed, but we're gaining quite a lot of altitude, so I'll just bring it back down to make sure that we don't go below 200 knots. So yeah, overall I quite like this plane, so I'd recommend you get it. I'll put the name of it in the description so that you can search it on whatever site you use to download your planes. If you don't know how to download extra planes, just comment in the description, I'll put a video up. So we're going to bring it to a land, but I'm not going to land on a runway because that's quite far back now. So I'm just going to bring it to land just on the normal ground. I'm using the rudder a little bit here. As you can see, the rudder on the two parts just there. So I'm going to cut the throttle completely, and I'm just going to bring it into a very steep dive so that we can just get we can lower our altitude very, very quickly. Bring out some flaps and bring out the gear. As you can see, the gear also has quite a nice animation. As you can see underneath, the airplane looks really nice. It's got quite a lot of detail, and it also has quite a lot of detail on the top. You can see the red lines, which are in the actual plane, that I really like, because it just makes it look quite a lot nicer. It makes it look quite futuristic as well. So now we're just gonna start to slowly level it back out, still losing altitude to make sure that we don't come in too high. So we're getting quite close to the floor now. The plane's telling me to pull up. Oh, we're climbing again. I think we're definitely coming in too quick here. So as we're coming in, just want to try not to come in too hard. There we go, we just touched and I had my brakes on full. So I've tried quite a few landings with this, and it's quite difficult to slow the plane down because it's going at such high speeds. So I definitely say that if you're taking this plane off and landing it, you'd want a very big runway. Not so much for taking off as you saw earlier, but certainly for landing. See, we're on the floor now with oh no, we're back up in the air. I've had full brakes on this whole time, so as I touch down you can see I've got full brakes on, yet it still wants to climb back up into the air. Here we go, I think I'm bringing it under control now. See what happens if I pull the nose up. Yeah, we're nicely on the ground now. Take some more time to have a good look at the plane. A little spin around of it. Have a look into the back of the jets. Quite a lot of detail in there. So as this plane comes to a stop, let's go and take a look at the UAV. Hi guys, and here we are with the Predator drone, the MQ-1 Predator drone. The length of this is 8.2 meters, which is less than one bus. The wingspan is 14.8 meters, which is 1.5 London buses, and the height is 2 meters, so this really is quite a small aircraft. The max takeoff weight is 453 kilos of payload, so that's not including the aircraft. The top speed is 135 miles per hour. The ceiling is 25,000 feet, and the range is 460 miles, but then it can stay there for 14 hours and then return. 460 miles is just over the distance from Manchester to Luxembourg. So it's more of an endurance aircraft than a speed aircraft or a heavy lifter aircraft. The program cost was $3.4 billion and the unit cost is $5.1 million per aircraft. So when you come into the game as a Predator drone, this is the first view you'll start in, but there are quite a few different views to choose from. Obviously it's a Predator drone, so you don't get a cockpit, so it's a remotely operated vehicle. The gear are quite long, as you can see, to give way for the propeller. So let's take off and see how this thing flies. So we're going to push the throttle all the way up to full, checking the rudder. Let's bring it up. As you can see, it's very responsive aircraft. Especially when you're going up like that. I'm probably not even bringing that to 50% there. And then that's 100% from, so you go at the middle and then 100% is just comes straight up. Yeah, it's slowing down now. But yeah, so we're gonna climb up. This doesn't seem to take a lot of runway space, which would be quite useful if you're in a war environment, which means that if there isn't a runway there already, you don't need to create a very long one. That's a Heathrow runway we've just taken off from. It's a very long runway, as you can see. So as we're flying, I can tell that it feels like and looks like a long distance aircraft. So as you can see, the wings are very long to add for maximum lift just from the wings. And then as you can see at the front, the kind of hump bit at the front is where you store all the navigation and connection software. Let's just see if we can do a roll with it. It doesn't want to roll very much. I'm on full there. Oh, I think we're gonna crash. Oh no. But yeah, the rolls are very, very slow. I'll take it up to a bit higher altitude and then we'll try doing a flying inverted. I've got a feeling that it's not gonna like it at all. I think we might be falling there, are we? No, we're okay. So yeah, as you can see, the undercarriage didn't really go away anywhere, it just slots into the bottom of the aircraft. The ball that you can see just there is the camera software and the sensory software that the controllers use when targeting or just using this vehicle for reconnaissance. So let's try flying inverted quickly. It wants to lose altitude straight away, so I have to correct this quite a lot. But yeah, overall it doesn't fly too badly upside down, bearing in mind that it really isn't designed to fly like this. So let's just spin it back around. It really likes to turn as you bring the airplane round. Should we try doing a loop? Oh, it's really not liking that. And then you finally get to tip it over and it brings itself around like that. Okay, let's chop the throttle, bring the flaps up to full, get the gear out. As you can see, something I've noticed is that the gears look like the landing gear look like they come out a lot quicker than they go in. So that's going out and then going in. I guess maybe it's because gravity helps. But yeah, so let's flick the gear out. By the way, I've been flying both of these planes on 10% of the fuel that they can carry, and no payloads at all. So this really isn't what they would fly like in a mission environment. So they would fly quite a lot more sluggishly, I would imagine, if they were a lot heavier. So let's bring the UAV to the ground. Let's try and bring it down nice and softly. Get the back wheels to touch first. I just lost control of it. It was going down no matter what. So as you can see, this one takes a lot less time to slow down than the Blackbird. So yeah, that's both of the planes. Overall, I like the Blackbird better, but to be honest, they do very different missions. The Blackbird was made for reconnaissance at very high altitudes and at very high speeds. The Predator was made for reconnaissance at low speeds and low altitudes. But the drone doesn't have any people having to be put in danger in the cockpit. So from maybe a political view, then that would be viewed as better. So yeah, I like the SR71 better. If you think differently, just put it in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, I would very much like it if you like the video and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. I've been Elite Gaming, and I'll see you guys next time.